We're making this beautiful shirt 100% cotton, and we're going to be doing sublimation, and we're going to be adding puff vinyl. We're going to be using this 100% cotton white onesie. The first thing I'm doing for this shirt is I found this cute little mermaid image. And so if I go to my profile here, I can see in my downloads on my Creative Fabrica All Access account that I have saved it in my downloads. I've got the cute baby mermaid bundle. And then I also downloaded this cute Party Days fonts. So these are a couple of the things that we're going to be using in this video. So now I've opened my Cricut design space and I'm going to be uploading my mermaid image. So I'm going to browse for that image and I'm going to pull it in and I'm going to do it under complex and hit continue. And it's going to come up with this image and I'm going to hit apply and continue. I'm going to do the cut image on this because I'm going to be cutting this so that I have a background for my clear vinyl that I'm going to be applying so that I can sublimate on it. So now I'm going to upload this. And then I'm going to go to my canvas. Image uploaded successfully, so that's good. And now I'm going to go to the canvas and I'm going to pull in my design. So now I'll go to upload my image here and I've got it right here. And I'm going to add that to the canvas. And it's going to come in real big here. And I am going to actually size that down. It came in at 53.149 inches wide. Well, I'm just going to make this 5 inches, and that'll automatically change it over here. Now, what you want to do when you go to print this is you want to make sure that you remember that number. So I've got 5 inches wide and 5.179 inches high. So now I'm gonna make it. This is HTV Ront Clear Glossy Sublimation HTV that we're going to be using. So now you can see from this Cricut Design Space image that I'm going to need roughly a 6 by 6 inch piece of this HTV. So I am going to trim off a 6 by 6 piece of HTV for on my cutting mat. Again, this manufacturer wants the shiny side down, so the carrier sheet will be down on this. So we want to make sure that we mirror our image, and I have this set to everyday iron on for cutting. And again, I just find it easier to do my weeding while the carrier sheet is still attached to the cutting mat. Now we want to pre-press our shirt. We want to get any extra moisture out and get any wrinkles out. And we also want to clean it real well with a lint roller. Anything that is under this clear HTV will show. So be sure to clean your shirt very well. Now it's time to press the clear Sublimation HTV onto the shirt. So I am doing that at 385 degrees for 15 seconds. I covered it with protective paper and a Teflon sheet. I did a warm peel for this and it came off very well. And as you can see on that shirt, it's very hard to see that clear HTV. I design in Microsoft Word, so I've opened a new document here and I'm going to go to layout just to walk through this with you. I've got my size at 8.5 by 11. Orientation, it doesn't matter if it's portrait or landscape. I'll go landscape on this. And then margins, I've got mine custom set to 0, so I'm going to pick that. Now I'm going to insert that mermaid here. And I am going to pull her in. And I'm going to change the size of this. First thing I'm going to do is the wrap and through. And then I'm going to go up here to picture format. And you can see that it came in at 7.09 high and 5.91 wide. Now I'm going to go back to my Cricut and I see that it's 5 by 5.179. Now here I've added a second image, and as you can see, that outline there of the box is bringing that in at 7.09 inches high by 5.91 inches wide, but there's a lot of white space there. If you remember on our Cricut design space, the image was tight. The image was tight to her hair. It was tight to the bubbles. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this image and I'm going to go into Paint and I am going to trim off that extra. So here I'm opening my Paint and I'm going to upload that mermaid image. So here is our image. So what I'm going to do is I am going to reshape this. So now I've went in and I'm going to use a rectangular and I have put a border around that, and then I'm going to use the crop tool and then I'm going to save this as a new PNG after it's cropped. So I actually wanted to show you what these two look like side by side. So on the right is the original Baby Mermaid PNG that I downloaded. And on the left is the Baby Mermaid after I cropped it. And these are saved in my downloads so that I can see. And as you can see on the left there, we'll be able to size this much better since it's been cropped down. Now I've inserted this new cropped image into my Word document and I have sized it to 5.1 by 5.21, and the reason I went with that slightly bigger is I don't think I cropped it down quite as much as it is in Cricut Design Space. And then you can see I've used that layout option of wrap and through because I'm going to insert a second mermaid on here before I print so that I'm not wasting paper. Now I've inserted the original PNG and I am going to leave that at the 7.09 by the 5.91. I've gotten it down to where it's very close to the one that I've cropped, so then I'll be able to use whichever one of these is closer to the HTV size. Now it's time to print our image. I am using an EcoTank 2760, an Epson that I have converted over to sublimation printing by adding sublimation ink. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go into your printer properties and you're going to want to have your paper type as premium presentation paper matte, and you're going to want to have your quality on high. I am using HTV RONT 125 sublimation paper for this. Now you're going to go under more options and you're going to want to make sure that you have high speed off and you want to mirror your image for sublimation. You will also want to go into image options and you will want to emphasize more and emphasize thin lines and then hit OK. Here it is just finishing up printing. Now we're going to design and cut our puff vinyl. So I'm back in my Cricut design space and I want to put the words baby and girl on the shirt. So here is that font that I downloaded earlier called Party Days. And here you can see those words changed over to Party Days. Now we'll cut this and we'll be ready to go. HTV vinyls can get expensive. So what I'm doing here is I'm looking at the size that I'm going to be cutting out, and I can see that it's roughly 4.5 by 4.5. So I'm going to cut a piece of my puff vinyl that's 5 by 5 to use for this. So I'm not wasting materials. This is the puff HTV that I'm using, and it does say to place it on your cutting mat shiny side down, so the carrier sheet is going to be down. So anytime that the carrier sheet is down, rule of thumb for me anyway, is that you want to reverse your image. The suggested material to pick for the cutter was glitter iron-on from the manufacturer of this puff vinyl. So that's what I've chosen here as the base material, glitter iron-on. And here you can see that I reversed this for cutting. I like to weed on my cutting mat. It makes it a lot easier for me. So I actually peeled it up and it weeded very well. And then I lifted it off of my cutting mat. Now that we have all of our elements, I decided to press my sublimation image onto the clear sublimation HTV. So I always trim my images down. You don't want to have any stray ink or anything on there. And then it also helps to line it up with the clear HTV, because once you've got that clear HTV on the shirt, it's very hard to see it. So trimming it down will help you find some places that you're able to line them up. And then I secured this down with heat resistant tape. I put protective paper on the image, and then I also covered it with a Teflon sheet, and we are pressing this for 385 degrees Fahrenheit for 35 seconds. The reveal is always the funnest part. So I lifted this up and you can see it's so vivid, bright, and the glossy HTV really makes it shimmer. Now it's time to add that puff HTV. So I cut my words separate here because I kind of wanted them at an angle. This is for my granddaughter. She's going to be 1. And I just wanted it not to be too overbearing. So I cut it down. I trimmed it real well. And I put baby and girl on there separate. So I placed my HTV where I want it. Be sure to turn your heat press down. Now you're only going to need 320 degrees for this for 12 seconds. And you're going to want to do a warm to a cool peel for this. Now this is after those 12 seconds and the carrier sheet is still on, and I hope you can see how it's lifted. It literally lifted it up by puffing. Wow, this puff really turned out cool. You can feel it. It's just so neat. I'll try and get it so you can see it there. But the sublimation on the clear HTV and the puff vinyl, success. Thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel. I put the links to materials that I used below in the description. Have a great day.